composition, right? You've got a little bit of poke as well with the Jace, the Corki rockets that are going to come through. I like that there's a good amount of team fight as well between Vampire and Monkey. They'll be able to start those fights off. And I honestly do foregoing his entire top side to be down here on this bot lane to either shepherd this in or to find a kill.
They have to look for On, I imagine, but he can still flash away, so I don't know if it's a... Oh, it is enough. Monkey slams
down there. He lands the Shattering Strike, but doesn't have the remount to pull Bin all the way back into the team that would have probably secured the flash at the very least.
BLG just looking for a soft combo onto Cube, but because Team WE go for the first round of grubs, BLG just go for the cross map, get the first dragon spawn. I don't think there's a threat onto Cube here, has flash available, but Wei is level 6, so maybe they'll take the chance, and this would put Elk back in a nice spot in the game. We're gonna see who leads the charge first. On goes in, tanks the turret aggro. It's too clean and clinical, Vampire and Taeyun, but now with the level lead, as you called out, and the first one with the Heartsteel Rush, Wei can just turn it on, turning on to Cube. Monkey tries to disengage the fight with the Cyclone, but he's got no other support, and now he's caught out by Bin's public execution, but Karis and Vampire join the fight on the right side. Monkey falls to Bin, but now they've got to deal with the reinforcements from Team WE pouring in for the right side. Bond! Pulverized flash on the 3 members, and now BLG can really turn up the heat in this fight. No chance for WE to find their way back in this one. The grubs are theirs, and multiple kills have fallen into their pockets.
They still have all 3 carries, but they don't have any way of getting in there, and the HP from BLG still too high. Wei with that completed Heartsteel is a menace.
He can be durable enough to just walk away, then trying to pick up the minion wave while the turret is going down slowly. Knight and Wei jumping onto Cube, knowing he doesn't have flash, and On, or Elk I should say, aiding with the True Shot Barrage over the wall. I don't even know if it clipped him. Yes, it did. 3 kills over to BLG, making it 4 total now, and Bin and On trying to make their way away from the dive from Team WE, and not much is going to get accomplished in terms of kills, but Team WE managed to push them away from the tier 1 on the top side, and that is first brick going over to Team WE.
That is great play by On there to keep his top laner alive. Just, you know, the small things, right? Manages to knock away the round.
And vision control in this top river where the Rift Herald awaits to be taken. Knight continuously getting chip damage onto Karis, threatening the siege of this T1, and Karis now too low to defend the remnants, and Knight, even with the turret ramping up, says,
first point in the game where we're going to get to see this full explosive team fight with everybody really around. Wei no ulti, they're going in!
Oh, there it is, the combo. On leads the charge with the flash, and Bin follows up beautifully with public execution. BLG swiftly execute Karis, and now for Team WE, no chance to contest this dragon.
It's a quick flash from On, and again, it's a 100-0 in the space of the CC. Exceptional performance from On, just getting that quick snap engage, and WE are left to flee out to the sides, out to the wings, because they've got no business going for that 3rd dragon. It wasn't the big explosive 5v5.
They did not completely give up their entire advantage just for the 3rd dragon in the first match. However, going for the Rift Herald, Wei wants to ensure that they don't get anything on this map, and Monkey's able to space himself away, goes back in with the Cyclone. Knight in trouble, but he's got a shield, and he's buying time for the rest of his team. On might be the first one to fall as Karis rejoins the fight alongside Cube, and BLG, they might have been enough more than they can chew. Here comes Team WE, collapsing in on the Titans that are BLG, but they're falling, they're getting sliced down. Now Bin is the only survivor.
They are going to be getting something for it, so it's about Knight making that difference. Maybe not now, but in those team fights with all this extra gold that he's getting.
They've got is in that Otacon pit, so nothing too favorable for a flank from either of the solo laners. They're just going to walk on in, and Monkey just starts up the fight with the Cyclone. Wei tries to stall the fight out with his own ultimate as Bin finds his way now into the backline, but On has already fallen, but Bin equalizes it, support for support. Bin still trying to do his best. Knight finds the backline! There it is! Fate sealed right on top of Karis, and now it's just down to Taeyun and Monkey to carry out the damage, but BLG do enough to...
Yes, they trade 2 for 2. The fight's a little bit even, maybe a little too even than they would have liked, but coming away with that objective means that all those that WE have been using and using again and again this time round. Tier 1 turret in the mid lane now under fire, and they're going to look to get it.
Vampire forces the onslaught here onto L. The public execution for
dead.
Ben was too out of range. He doesn't get a chance to join the fight, and now BLG are scattered. Knight coming in now, trying to see if they can equalize. Now that Ben has joined the fight, looking for Karis, finds it again with the Fate Seal. The Q3 lands right on top of Monkey, and the GA is popped. But his teammates, they're starting to slowly corral around Knight. They give him the reinforcements they need. The Blast Cone. Knight survives for now, but Tatum with a quick flash guns down Knight, and BLG are left to scramble. Team WE will pick up the upcoming.
Yeah, you're going to have an advantage in the 5 versus 5 BLG, but if you lose your AD carry with no response, that's no chance that you take it. Now Bin sniffing, snipes out Vampire. Can he find some more?
I don't think he's going to get any more, though. It was a nice attempt for BLG's top laner, but a little too more than what he could actually handle. Team WE will still secure themselves this Otacon, and with all...
Duo.
This is very bold. If BLG can try and burn down this Baron before Elder spawns, they'll have enough time to make a macro play. And uh-oh, Vampire goes too far. Monkey forced to dive in to try and bail out and salvage what was made by Vampire's fumble, but it is just a disaster for
the sequence of events. But Vampire just stepping that little bit too close as undone. 30 minutes of exceptional. The rest of the squad just not quite on fire, not quite where they needed to be, and the small micro steps end up being the problem.
Yeah, it's so close that I find it hard for Team WE. Then the blue side squad is going to look over this match with a little bit of heartbreak, but also they should be taking away the fact that, hey guys, we brought it to BLG so far. Now, the game is still not over. BLG still have to close it out, but with Elder and Baron on their side, I find it very hard to not do so here.
No, I mean, at the very least, they should be breaking open the base. And with a 4K gold lead, they can just dive with the Elder as well. Knight, you can see, just charging forward. Knows what the mission objective is, and once you've got 2 inhibitors, getting that third becomes so mundane, so fundamental, that it's not really ever a problem. Another 40 seconds still, so they have this wave, they have one more where they've got Elder, and WE, they just have to play respectfully, they have to concede this. If they fight, they die, and if they die, they lose. And BLG, it's methodical, it's meticulous, just engages BLG. Wei is so tanky that him dying is just not a foreseeable circumstance.
Glacial Prison lands right onto Cube. That's a nice target to pick off first. Now, thankfully, Monkey's clone is going to stall BLG's siege for just a second here. But as I say that, they make their way through. The inhibitor tower falls. The third inhibitor should be next on the menu. And Team WE, four-man Magnustorm, maybe! That's a big engage. Knight loses his GA. Ben trying to stall the fight as long as he can. Monkey with the second cast of Cyclone already used, but Ben finds the public execution on Taeyun, the troublemaker for BLG, and they finally did him away. Monkey will not get a chance to upset his former squad today, as BLG, after a grueling 34 minutes, will take this game in stride.
Yeah, for 30 of those 34, it was a nail-biter. It was as close as you could call it, but one quick engage, one snap decision from On, and BLG end the game with a 10k gold lead.